Danny, we can't do the show right now.
Why?
What is this? We have a Florida football.
Listen, man. I liked them when I was like 7, dude. Don't trip. It's all right.
Is this because of the Swamp Kings documentary? This is ridiculous. We're not having that. All right, now we can start.
All right.
What's up, Western Oregon? Now that we got that out of the way, Danny knows I'm a Georgia fan. Somehow brought in the Florida football. I don't know why that's in the office, but we need to burn that quickly.
I think we need to ask some questions, get some answers on why there's a Florida football in Eugene, Oregon.
We have to get to the bottom of this
100%.
quickly.
Drain the swamp.
Yes. But this is drain the swamp, quite literally. But this is an exciting week, obviously. College football is back.
I can taste it.
Week
right
zero
here.
is upon us. And this is my thing with week 0. I wish there was like one big game they could throw on there. I get maybe some of the bigger teams.
You're telling me Navy versus Notre Dame is not the powerhouse
in Ireland?
In Dublin, Ireland, and then San Jose State with the upset against number 6 USC?
Yes, my other team, don't you dare say that San Jose State is going to beat USC. That is probably the most interesting one, though, because we get a good look at what USC's new look defense is going to be like, and then Oregon State plays the San Jose Spartans the next week, and I'll be at that one, so we get a nice look at them as well.
San Jose State's about to be 2-0.
I don't like you today. Florida.
You know what, man? I'm fired up, man. I'm fired up because college football is back. We are here.
Yeah.
I'm beyond excited.
I'm beyond excited, even though you don't have a good head on your shoulders. You're at least right about that. College football is back, and that means we've only got a couple more shows to kind of preview what's happening. I think next week we'll go into our in-depth Pac-12 predictions.
Yes.
But today we have a couple of smaller predictions, not the entire season, but we have our 3 bold takes for what we think is going to happen this season. So why don't you kick us off, Danny?
Right now, bold takes. I'm going to keep this one more national than the last 2. I'll keep more Pac-12 for our viewers. But for number 1, I'm going to go with LSU's going to win back-to-back SEC West.
Whoa.
Yes.
That's a big take over Alabama.
Over Alabama, man. And listen, and there's no discredit to Alabama. I think they're going to have a great year in much comparison to last year.
I have questions about them, though. I'm not off base with you there.
With Alabama?
Yeah, I mean, I think the quarterback situation is very down compared to what they've had in previous years, going from Tua to Mac Jones, and kind of what they've had these last few years. Bryce Young, another Heisman winner. So I think they're going to take a step back there. So I don't necessarily disagree with that. But why LSU? What do you like about the Tigers?
Listen, I like Brian Kelly. I like Jane Daniels. I mean, I was big on him when he was at ASU his freshman year, who torched Oregon in his
He looked like
first
a
game.
stud.
He's a stud. He's a runner. He's a passer. I mean, I think he could also, this might be another hot take, I think he might lead the country in touchdowns this year with the rushing touchdowns and passing touchdowns. I am always been big on Daniels, so I'm beyond excited for him. It's his 5th year, I believe, now. This will be his 5th and probably final year. Yeah,
he's been around college football since 2019.
Exactly.
Same length as Bo Nix. That was when that upset happened. He looked like a future Heisman contender down the line. Kind of stalled out there under Herm Edwards. It was kind of a garbage dumpster fire there going on in Tempe. But he's rebounded, and over the course of the season, I think the thing I liked about him was the downfield passing. He got a lot better there. Speaking of downfield passing, I think that is the most improved area for Oregon State this year. DJU has looked awesome all camp. We've touched on that a bunch of times, but here is my bold take. When I look at their schedule, I think they have one of the most manageable ones out of those 5 or 6 contenders in the league. I think they have probably the most manageable, and with that being said, games at home. Sorry, Utah's at home too, so I messed that up. I was looking at the list wrong. Utah, of course, is at home on a Friday night. Still think that's going to be tough against the Utes, but Washington to me is a toss-up at Reser Stadium.
I think that's a great prediction. I mean, hearing that schedule right now, I think Oregon State very well can go, 9-1?
That would be crazy. What momentum that would have. And then say you're 9-1 and you lose the last 2, you're still right there with the potential to get another 10-win season. And
100%.
And at that point,
100%.
Man, it's going to be tough to keep Jonathan Smith with all this conference realignment stuff. But that's a problem for later down the road.
Yes, sir.
But man, another 10-3 season for the Beavers. Whew, what's your next one?
I am excited. Kind of staying with the Pac-12, staying with Oregon State. I think the Pac-12 is going to go scorched earth. I think with this being the final, year of the Pac-12, sad, rest in peace. I think, like I said, Pac-12 scorched earth. And right now, the preseason poll has 5 Pac-12 teams in the top 25.
Crazy.
I think it's going to be 6 in the final poll
wow.
for AP. So they have, they have USC, Washington, Utah, Oregon and Oregon State. I think you throw UCLA in there at the end. I think all those teams can very well be in the AP top 25.
You think Dante Moore maybe leads them to an 8-9 win season?
I believe so, 100%. Yeah. He's got a good cast around him. You know, he's got Chip Kelly. I think UCLA, I mean, look, they were great. I mean, did we demolish them, Oregon, last year? Yes. But I think they're a very good team. They're a very good program. Dante Moore is a stud. I was pretty upset when he went to UCLA.
That hurt.
But yeah, so I think the Pac-12 is going to be on fire this year. I think they have a lot to prove. I think this is going to be kind of their way of maybe other conferences grab these last few Pac-12 teams still remaining, Pac-4. So, yeah, I think 6 teams will finish in the Pac-12.
That's a great prediction. What a way for the league to go out, and it would just really highlight how disappointing the mismanagement of this league is because it's getting good right as it's going to decline. Now, I'm going to give my last local prediction for Oregon and Oregon State, and then I'll give a national one. You know, Oregon receiver has kind of been a little spotty in their history. Not as good as you might think. Even in those LaMichael James, Kenyon Barner eras, you know, they had some good people, Jeff Mayle, Devin Allen, Dylan Mitchell, but they haven't had that, like, first-round stud. I think Troy Franklin could be that. But my prediction is I think not only does Troy Franklin become Oregon's first 1,000-yard receiver since 2018, I think they'll have another one, whether it's Tez Johnson or Trayshawn Holden. I think Oregon has 2 1,000-yard receivers breaking that streak twofold. What do you think?
I like that. I think, you know what, they have Will Stein coming in who came from UTSA.
Yeah.
Highly explosive offense coming in after Kenny Dillingham, who also obviously had that explosive offense. I think these receivers are ready to let it fly. I think that is a great prediction.
Yeah, I think Troy Franklin's a lock to me. 891 last year. Of course, you bring in Tez Johnson, a guy that had 863 last year. The connection with Bo Nix. I think we got 2 1,000-yard receivers in Eugene for the first time. I don't even know the last time they had 2 in a season, if that's ever happened. But the last 1,000-yard season, it's been a good position, but it hasn't been as good as running back or quarterback to me. The Oregon receivers. I think it's a big strength of the team this year.
That is exciting. I really like that.
A huge strength of the team this year.
For my last pick, and this one is probably my hottest for any of it, I think, you know, this would be the first time since 2010. I think 2 out of the 3 final Heisman candidates will be from the Pac-12.
Wow.
It'd be the first time since 2010 when we had LaMichael James and Andrew Luck and Cam Newton beat them out. I think you look at the quarterback room, all these quarterbacks are very well dark horses. Obviously, Caleb Williams would be the front runner. But
Bo?
No. It wouldn't even, the second player wouldn't even be a quarterback. Damian Martinez for Oregon State.
Whoa.
I think that's my boldest take. I think it'd be a quarterback and a running back. Pac-12,
Damian Martinez.
3. Yeah.
How many yards do you think he would need to get to New York? 1,500, I would guess.
I would say, yeah.
Wow. Damian Martinez in New York. That is flaming hot. Went on the radio with Steve Tannen a while back and said, I think there will be back-to-back Heisman winners from the Pac-12 for the first time since Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart. So I'm with you there. I really like that take quite a lot. I think it could be Caleb, like you said, Bo. I don't know about Damian, but I don't hate that. Bucky Irving, maybe too many cooks in the kitchen to get there.
Yeah.
But he's an awesome player.
And if you want to go to quarterbacks, I mean, you got Michael Penix Jr., you got DJU, you got Bo Nix. I mean, like, the Pac-12 is so wide open right now with all these stud players. Then I just think, why not? I feel like it'd be a good storyline. You know, the Pac-12 is going to dissolve after this year. Let's have some of the candidates be from the Pac-12.
I love it.
Scorched earth Pac-12. That's what I'm going for.
Great take. I'm going to go national, too. I think the Georgia Bulldogs become the first team to three-peat since Minnesota in the 1930s. What's stopping them? I think Carson Beck already named the starter.
LSU, man.
You think LSU? I like LSU. Jaden Daniels, Harold Perkins, Malik Neighbors is a heck of a trio.
Yes.
But Georgia, man, I was really studying their roster on my vacation, kind of going through it. The receivers and tight ends are unbelievable. The running backs will be just fine. If Carson Beck can just be the trigger man of that offense, you're looking at something special. They're going to score a lot of points. And then defensively, Kirby Smart's always going to have a top 20 defense. Death taxes and Kirby Smart leading one of the best defenses in the country. I think it'll be the first three-peat. Wow. I think Minnesota, I mean, not Minnesota. That would be the first team. That was the last team to do it. I don't think Minnesota's going to make the playoff, but I think it'll come down to them and Michigan. I like Michigan's roster, too. It's going to be close. It'll be like a a barn burner of a game in the national title. It'll be like 42-35.
TCU.
And the one with Ohio State and Georgia, it'll be similar to that. It's going to be difficult to fend off those two Big Ten teams, but I've got Georgia doing it. If I had to give my playoff pick right now, Georgia, Michigan, I don't know, maybe I got to put a Pac-12 team in there, and this will tie into our predictions later on. You know, USC or Utah maybe in there. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think two Big Ten teams. I think maybe a Penn State, a Michigan, Georgia, and USC is my playoff pick.
That is a fun playoff pick. I cannot think of one at the top of my head right now. I will get back to you guys on that.
Next week. There's always next week when we keep reviewing the season. All right. After this quick timeout, we are going to talk about someone that's been a little salty lately with the media. We'll find out who it is after this.
Welcome back, guys. So, like Trevor mentioned before, someone's been a little saltine cracker. You know, we're getting
a little
closer.
Salty spittoon.
A little salty spittoon, SpongeBob reference. Or we're getting closer to the start of college football, which means these coaches are going to be maybe a little bit more closed off with what they're going to reveal at practice. One of them being Dan Lanning. In his latest media availability, he was very hush, very short, very salty, for a lack of a better term.
Yeah, let's go ahead and roll a little 40-second exchange that he had.
Are there a few factors that you think kind of were really key for the defense being better early in the day than they were last Saturday?
They played better. I mean, I think that's the main factor.
In what ways? Like, can you get into specifics?
Well, when the offense doesn't get a first down, the defense stops them.
There you go.
Like, you guys are really digging in on this. Like, they played better at the beginning of the scrimmage.
Is that something you challenged them to see them start?
I mean, I challenge every one of our players to play better.
You noted 4 turnovers last week. You said there were a couple today. How many were there today?
I'm not telling you.
Right.
There were some turnovers.
Okay, so yeah, there it was. Not really willing to reveal much of anything. And like, I want to hear your take on this. My take is kind of like, I think it's a little bit unnecessary to be that gruff with the media, you know, and the reaction on social media was kind of split. I think you actually had some Ducks fans that were like, man, he doesn't have to be that effusive with the media. Some people were like, he doesn't have to share anything. But I just feel like our job as media is to give the fans information on their team. So why wouldn't fans want some information on the scrimmage? I don't think saying how many turnovers there were or who looked good is really going to really help Texas Tech that much. So I'm not a fan of it, and a lot of people compare him to Nick Saban or Kirby Smart. I was kind of watching a Kirby Smart press conference after a practice a few days ago. He's not that short with the media. Like, he gives longer answers than that. So I'm not sure what he's up to. I'm not sure if he's maybe just rushing out of there to watch the film. I also think those scrum settings can lead to shorter answers like that. Maybe if he was sitting down in a more comfortable environment, you get different answers. But I'm personally not really a fan of it. I don't think it's the best look for your program or the message you're trying to send to recruits being so short like that.
Yeah. Well, on the flip side, loose lips sink ships.
Okay.
It's the popular saying. I think it's just, you know, we're getting closer to the season. He doesn't want to reveal too much. He's probably under a lot of stress, so he's probably also just wanting to get this media availabilities out of the way. I don't think it necessarily means anything bad for the program. I don't think he's representing anything bad. I just think he's probably under a lot of stress. I think the guy just wants to get it out of the way, get these media availabilities out of the way. I mean, you know, we will see we'll see week 1 how Oregon's going to perform, and that will show the fans what we really got. And I mean, like you said, fans were kind of divisive on whether they supported it or not. And like you say, channeling his inner Nick Saban, channeling his inner Mario Cristobal. Cristobal was always a little short with media, especially with certain individuals. I'm not going to name names, but we know who. But yeah, I mean, I think it's not that bad. I mean, like I said, there was times where he came off a little sassy, salty, spittoon, whatever. But I think overall it's fine. I mean, I think where he's just fired up, he's ready to get this college football rolling. I think fall camp, and we're reaching the end of it. He's ready to get things started.
Yeah, maybe he's just getting a little tired of the same old faces at the press conferences. Now, I see a lot of people on social media saying, well, why aren't the reporters asking better questions? And it's like, I don't know that those were really bad questions.
No.
Maybe it could be a little more creative in the approach, not running into some of those walls that coaches aren't going to say. Like, coaches under the Nick Saban tree aren't going to compliment any player too much. They're not going to criticize any player too much. And I get that they're not going to give away scheme, but I didn't think that stuff was that harmful. But, and a lot of people on social media are going to say that. They've never been in a situation where you're in a scrum, you're trying to get your questions off before the SID. Todd Miles, whoever says last question. Yeah. So you're rushing to get a question in. You're kind of competing with everyone else. And it's a social setting that most people are not familiar with. It's a very abnormal social setting. Like, very rarely in life does everybody gather and fire off questions in one place. So also, we're not able to watch. So we're not able to ask specific questions.
That's a fair point. That is a very fair point.
So people are just like, how's the scrimmage going? Like, yeah, that's a basic question, but
I'm not telling you.
We have baseline knowledge. I'm not telling you. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't think he's presenting himself in the best possible way there. I don't think it's the end of the world. I don't think it's like that damaging to the program or whatever. I think
he lost like 4 or 5 stars just from that alone.
I don't think anything like that, but come on, throw us a bone. It's Eugene.
Dan, throw us a bone, man.
It's not the New York Jets. It's not the New York Post, like grilling Robert Salah. Like, let's relax a little bit. I think we could relax a little bit. The assistants have been awesome, giving great answers. The players are awesome. So I don't think it's this big mandate to the entire team, but I think Dan not really feeling the media right now for whatever reason. That's fine. Maybe he'll open up a little more in the season. So, yeah, I don't want to criticize him too much, but not the biggest fan of some of the answers that he's giving. He doesn't care. Obviously, he doesn't care at all what I think or what anyone thinks. He's just trying to run his team.
Maybe he's watching this right now, and he cares.
Yeah, definitely. Danny, what do you have for us next?
Got a little pop quiz. You know, we're in college football right now. We're getting excited. And I was quizzing some people in the office. Some of them were impressive than the others. Let me ask, can you name all of the Heisman winners from now to 2010?
Oh, absolutely. Let me see if I got this.
You want to go in order from most latest, obviously, to 2010?
Yeah. I think I got this, and I love this, by the way, because this is something that I like practice in my head before I go to bed for situations like this.
If there was like a gun to your head.
I'm always training for situations like this, and let me tell you, it paid off one time when I interviewed for an internship with NFL Network. The first question was like, name 5 members of the Jaguars defense. Nailed it. And like, name the 5 first-round picks, quarterbacks in the draft this year. Nailed it. So I'm always prepared for situations like this.
All right.
And I'm stalling to remember all of them. Okay. So 2022. Why am I blanking on the most recent Caleb Williams from USC?
There you go.
You know, you got to get in the rhythm. 2022 was Bryce Young. 2020.
2022 was Caleb Williams. Bryce Young was 2021. So now it's 2020.
What about 2020? Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yes.
2021 was Bryce Young.
Yes.
2020, Devontae Smith.
There you go.
2019. 2019. Was it another Bama guy? 2019.
Let me give you a hint.
No. Wait. 2019. Oh, Burrow.
There you go.
It's like getting in the rhythm a little bit. It's hard. It's hard sometimes. 2018. That was the year that Clemson dominated everyone. So was the winner Kyler Murray?
Yep.
He lost to LSU was it Kyler Murray?
Kyler Murray, yeah. You're 5 for 5 so far for 2018.
Because Jalen Hurts was the one that lost to LSU to Burrow. Okay. 2017. That was the year Tua won the national. Baker Mayfield.
There you go.
26. I'm in a rhythm now.
You're in a rhythm right now. This one, 2016.
Lamar Jackson.
No. The only guy to actually get that one.
Easy.
2 of my other coworkers were so stuck on Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
They were stuck. They couldn't.
How can you forget that?
All right, 2015.
2015, Derrick Henry.
Yes.
2014 was Marcus Mariota. We just talked to him.
Took a little too long on that one, but it's all right.
Yeah, that's a little messed up. 13, Jameis Winston. Come on, I'm killing it right now. 2012, Manziel. 2011, RG3. 2010, Cam Newton.
Wow.
2009, Mark Ingram.
Going.
2008, Sam Bradford.
Okay.
2007, Tim Tebow.
Yep.
2006, Troy Smith. 2005, Reggie Bush.
Oh,
2004, Matt Leinart.
Wow.
This is where I always stop short.
Wow.
Do you have the list right now?
Wow.
2004 is Matt Leinart.
Yep.
This is where I always fall short. 2003 was
You got it. Man, you were on a roll.
Oh, Jason White?
Yep. 2002. Let's go. Let's see how far.
Dude, I got going there because when it's like in your childhood, you like remember it more.
Yes, 100%.
2002 was that? No, it was Oh, was it an Ohio State or LSU guy? Because they were kind of in the mix. No. Oh, Eric Crouch?
Nope.
He was 01.
Nope. That's the one that stumped you. Carson Palmer.
Oh!
Eric Crouch was 2001.
And then Ron Dane, 2000. Chris Winkie.
Chris Winkie, 2000. Ron Dwayne, 1999. Ricky Williams, 88. Woodson, 97. So on and so forth. But, dude, that was impressive. You were rehired as our sports reporter at KVAL.
That was fun.
That was great. That was great.
That gave me the dopamine that I needed. Listing players is like my favorite thing ever.
Oh, man.
You got
I'm
any
proud
more
of you,
for
man.
me? That was amazing. That was a rush.
You know what? We will keep this going throughout the football season.
Yes.
I'm going to hit you with quizzes like this on the cuff. I didn't tell him anything about what it was going to be. I didn't tell him it was going to be Heisman winners. That was right off the bat, and I'm proud of you, man.
I love that. Thank you. That really felt good. That really felt good. All right. After the break, we're going to close talking about some Oregon volleyball. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Of course, we've got football season back, but we can't forget about volleyball season. Oregon State breaking in a new coach, and then Oregon trying to repeat as one of the best teams in the nation after an Elite Eight run. They're going to head to Hawaii for the Rainbow Wahine tournament there, and they're opening up with a bang against number 13 San Diego, team that made the Final Four last year. Let's hear real quick head coach Matt Ulmer's thoughts on that matchup.
Yeah, I think it's a challenge we want. You know, we want to be playing against top competition all year. That's going to help us get ready for the postseason and make us as developed as we can be. You know, so we need a lot of those experiences. And San Diego was just in the Final Four this past year. You know, they returned a handful of players from this team, and you know, we know we're going to get a really good shot from them. And we're going to learn a lot about ourselves right away in Hawaii, but we're looking forward to it.
Okay, so that's going to be a cool event. Now, I asked Matt if there were any kind of reservations about doing this event in Hawaii, given the tragedies that are happening there. They went forward with it. They're even raising donations and gathering items that they're going to bring over to donate to that cause. So that's cool to see.
That's awesome.
But yeah, big year for this team. Mimi Collier, Pac-12 Freshman of the Year back. It can be very fun to see how they fare. What a challenge out of the gates for this team.
100%. I'm very excited for Oregon volleyball. I mean, they've been so consistent these past years. I mean, getting to the Elite Eight last year, I mean, the sky's the limit for Oregon volleyball. I think Matt Ulmer is a great coach, one of the better coaches here in Oregon State, whatever. I'm a huge fan of him. So I think Oregon volleyball, they're going to be another dominant team. This is going to be a great team against San Diego. So I'm excited, man.
They were at the top of our Oregon sports tiers, I believe. I believe volleyball was alone, yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, come on.
And baseball and softball were next, I think. Yeah, they were awesome.
Yeah.
They were awesome last year.
Volleyball was just so dominant. So I believe they're going to have another dominant year. I believe, Matt Ulmer's been here long enough. I think he's just built a great culture for Oregon volleyball, and I think, like I said, sky's the limit, man.
They lose some people this year. We'll see how they bounce back, but they do return, like I said, Mimi Collier. So that'll be fun to see. All right, so we got that coming up this week. We've got football getting going. I can't wait for that San Jose State USC game. We'll definitely have those highlights on the show.
Yes.
So exciting stuff.
Great stuff.
Keep it locked right here. Got some good stuff planned. Hopefully some interviews in the works. We've been working on some stuff. So
yeah, Phil Knight, he hasn't gotten back to me. Sorry, we're working on it.
You and Phil Knight. Just ships in the night, passing. So,
exactly.
All right, we'll pass on this episode here, but we'll be back next week with, I believe, episode 14. See you next time.